think elk are charismatic. A symbol of the West, if not more broadly, of wild landscapes. The National Elk Refuge was established as a wintering ground for elk. Those elk need to winter in other locations, and a lot of those are private lands. So working with private landowners is the only solution going forward if we want to maintain existing numbers of elk.
Here, let me hold him.
Maybe if he faces me.
Go, bud.
Conservation is a people business, and it happens one relationship at a time. And sitting down at somebody's kitchen table, or riding around in the cab of their pickup, or riding a fence line to understand how wildlife move across that and how that impacts somebody's ability to manage their cattle is the only way to do this. A lot of the ranchers in places like Wyoming and Montana have leases on the neighboring public lands. NIFWF is able to work on both the private lands and the public lands in this landscape. So we can work with the Bureau of Land Management on their property, or the U.S. Forest Service lands, and at the same time be working with the neighboring private rancher on stewardship activities on their ranch.
Really, everybody's out for the better of the land. You're gaining per pound and you're gaining per acre.
Good to see you. Through what we're doing with the sage grouse initiative and create more feed. Doing that with the sage grouse, we also increase it for all the other animals that are within this ecosystem.
NIFWF brings a lot to the table for the NRCS, particularly when it comes down to projects that are really trying to be beneficial to both agriculture and wildlife as well. Ranchers help wildlife, and wildlife conservationists help ranchers.
You know, we had a lot of barbed wire fence here in Wyoming. I never really thought about it until, we started learning about wildlife fencing, how much safer it is for the animals to pass through.
It takes a while to kind of digest the idea, but if it's good for our cattle, it's good for wildlife. Always feed there for everyone. Once we did, why, it's worked great for us.
Most of conservation is collaborative. The ranchers and the professionals from NRCS and other agencies all have one thing in common, which is they're all part of this community. And they're not out there doing it for the recognition. They're out there working because this is the right thing to do for the land and for their communities. And when you put work on the ground and you see somebody's ranch operation and their family benefit, and then you see the wildlife response at the same time, that's where the magic happens.